Today we're going to dive into Assurance from Hilliard. It's our highly concentrated heavy-duty dirt, grease, grime remover. Think construction areas, really greasy kitchens, things like that. The chemistry works in the favor for that, so we're not going to want to use it for just regular cleaning because the chemistry behind this one is really meant to break down those fats and greases that other chemicals will not. Dilution rates for Assurance are anywhere from 1 to 4 ounces per gallon of water. And you're going to want to use hot water or warm water on this one. It kind of helps break up those fats. Just remember, never ever use on glass. I found this cute little video that helps to kind of give a little visual for you on how water and chemistry work together just a little bit. So here's a basic water molecule, H2O. And what happens in water is it is polar. Okay, polar means it has a positive and a negative side. So the hydrogen side is more positive and the oxygen side is more negative. And what happens with this polar molecule is it is able to dissolve other polar molecules. Okay, so it's considered a universal solvent because most times it can dissolve anything that has polarity, so a positive and a negative. So here's a salt molecule. Salt's an easy example. Salt has positive and negative charges in their atoms. And so what happens is that water molecule just steals these, kind of breaks it up, okay? The positive attracts the negative attracts the positive, and it can actually break down that salt molecule for us. Any other molecule that has the positive and negative charges like that, it will dissolve in water, okay? Some things that we mix with water don't necessarily dissolve, they actually just mix with water. So think milk and flour. They will mix with water, but they will not actually dissolve because it does not have the right polarity. So therefore, it becomes a suspension or a colloid. That's the scientific terms. But essentially what it is you see them just separately floating around. They mix together, so they're not really, like the flour eventually would settle to the bottom if you didn't mix it. But it will mix together, but it won't dissolve. Oils and fats do not have any polarity. There's no positive or negative charge. So therefore, there's no way for the water molecule to break up that oil on its own. That's why oil and water will never mix. Therefore, we insert chemistry. So Assurance has several different chemical compositions that work together in different ways to do the same thing. So they're going to break up different types of fats different ways. One of them is emulsification, where the composition encapsulates the fat globule. It breaks it up and then surrounds it or encapsulates it so that it can be picked up and dissolved in water or brought into the water. Another is saponification. This is used in soap making, as well as this product. And essentially what it does is it breaks down the fat to make it water soluble. So it makes it's a chemical reaction that makes it dissolve in the water. So the other compositions in there are going to use chelation, which is kind of pulling up that metal off the surface. So for example, iron will adhere itself to a surface, and so chelation kind of works to pick up that. And then surfactants, remember, create that barrier. After you have created the chemical reaction to pick up your dirt, your grime, your grease, then surfactants come in and they create that nice little barrier to keep that surface clean and shiny. So to give an example of this real life, if I spill oil on my floor and then I just pour water on it, chances are I am going to just see that water ball up or bead up and run off of the oil. So I need to introduce a chemical that is going to actually use that saponification, where it's going to break up that fat globule, okay? Dawn dish soap has it in there, and this Assurance does as well. And what it's going to do is it's going to break up those fat molecules into smaller particles and then adhere to them, or create the chemical reaction that makes water actually dissolve them to pick them up. This is also why we use hot water in this, because that helps that process of breaking up that oil. So we're going to use this chemical all together to break up the different oils on the surface. So all that being said, I think that now that you understand the chemistry and the use for this product, you're going to find more situations in which you can use it. We haven't come into a ton of them ahead of time, so I can't list off 40 different places for you to use this product. But now that you understand it, I think you're going to find situations where you're like, oh, I think Assurance would come in handy. So hopefully this gave you some great information and some great insight, and you'll be able to take it from here.